Code Explain says hi. So let's see what we're gonna create today. So here when I click on this button here, this modal opens, or this box here where I can type in the name of the project and add the project to this list here. Also when I click on this icon, then this edit button here, I can edit the name of these projects. So if I click on this, the same modal, the same form opens, and then I can type in the name of, or edit the name of the project and then confirm or cancel. So let's go and see how to create this. So you can see that when I add a project and edit the name of the project, we use a modal for both. We use the same form. We have here a hidden, we have an input for both, we have a cancel button, and then a confirm button. This one says add project and this one says confirm. So they both uses the modal and both of them uses the same form. So I'm not gonna repeat myself. So I will go and create another component called project form. So I will need a function called project form. Then I'm going to return some JSX and export this as default so I can use it whenever I want. So it's going to be an HTML form that has an submit event. So when I submit, I'm going to run a function called handle submit. And this function here will be received as props from my add new project component and rename project component. So these two here will use my project form component inside of them. So this here will pass a handle submit to my project form, and it also must send a handle submit to my project form component. So then we have here a hidden. Okay, so this one says new project, this one says edit project name. So we need a variable for this. I'm gonna call this hidden. I'm gonna receive this as props too. Then we have here our input. So I'm gonna say input. It will have a value and on change. So this is a control component. The value is gonna be received as a prop too. For the onChange here is going to be a function that takes in the event as a parameter, and then the value of my input here is going to be e.target.value. And then I'm going to set this value here to this value. So I will need my function here set value also to be brought using props. Then I need a type text, then a placeholder that says project name, and then an autofocus. Autofocus means when I open this form here, I don't need to go and click inside the input. It's going to be automatically focused so I can type in directly. Then we need here a button with the class name cancel, and it says cancel for both. So no need to use a variable here. And then the role attribute here set to button. Why do I need this? Because this is a button inside the form. So when I click on any button inside the form, this will run my function here, a handle submit. So this will cause a submit. To prevent that from happening, to prevent this button or any button from submitting, you need to add a role attribute and set it to button. Then I'm gonna go and add an unclick event. So when I click on cancel here, I need to close the modal. So I'm gonna set show modal to false. So I also need to get this function here using props. And then the last thing is a button with the class name confirm, and inside we have here some confirm button text. It could be add project or it could be confirm. So I need to receive that using props too. So that's it for our project form. Now let's go and use them in our add new project and then after in our rename project. So we created in the last part our projects menu or the list of the projects, and if you remember, this is our add new project. So the add new project component shows the plus sign, and when you click on that you must open a modal and then open this form here. So we have a function called add new project, then we return some JSX. In the last part we've created only this button here with the class name add button and then a span and then our icon plus. Now here at the bottom we're gonna create the modal here, so we're gonna need to import the modal we've created before. And you know that the model here needs two props, the show model state and set show model to change the show model state. So here we need to create them first in our add new project, show model, set show model, and set to false. So we hide the model by default. So to open the model, we need to click on the plus icon here. So I'm going to add an unclick event, and then this will just go and set the show model to true to show the model. Now inside of the model, we're gonna just render our project form, and of course we need to import that first. Now our project form needs some props, the handle submit function, we need to create that here, and then the hidden, it's gonna be new project, then a value, it's gonna be a project name, and then a set value, it's going to be a set project name. So we need to create some state, so I'm going to go and create that project name, set project name, and initialize it with an empty string. Now this value here is going to be the value of the input, and set project name is the function that we're going to use to change the value of the project name. And then the set show model to close the model, and then the text of the confirm button, it's going to be plus add project. Now that's it for our add new project component. Now let's go and talk about our rename project component. But first we need to do some updates in our project component. So if you remember, to render this project here, we used a component called project. So this is how our project component is looking so far. Now when we click on this button here, we need to open the model to change or to edit the name of the project. So I need here a model, of course, then this takes in a show model and set show model props. So I need to create some state there, and then I will need to add an unclick event to edit button. So when I click on this here, I will set show model to true to open the model. Now inside the model, I'm gonna render my rename project component. The rename project component, as you can see, so when I click on this one here, the name of the project goes directly to this input here. So my rename project needs a set show model to close the model when I cancel, and the project itself. The project is an object here. If you remember, it has a name, property, an ID, and the number of to-dos we show to the user. So I need this project here, the project object, because when I click on each of these pencils or edit buttons, I need the name of the project to go into my input here. So let's go and talk about our rename project component. So our rename project component will receive a project object and the set show model as props. So inside here, we're gonna just use our project form component. The first prop is the handle submit. So I need to pass in a handle submit function. So I'm gonna create that function, and it's gonna be empty for now. And then a hidden, it says edit project name. And then for the input here, it's gonna be control. So I need to pass in a value. So it's gonna be it's gonna be called new project name. And then set value to change the new project name. It's gonna be called set new project name. So I need some state here. So I'm gonna go and create that new project name and set new project name. Except this time, I'm not gonna go and initialize it with an empty string. Instead, I need the name of the project here. So I'm gonna go and use the project object and say project.name to render the name of the project I am editing. Then I will need the set show model function to close the model when I click on cancel. So this function here was received as prop. Then I'm gonna send it as a prop to my project form. And then the confirm button text is gonna be confirm. And that's it for the logic part. Now let's go and see this in action. So before opening my text editor, I need the files from the last part. So if you already have them, you can skip this. So I'm gonna go to the GitHub or the repo, and I'm gonna go to the last part, the part 8, and then copy the link to the folder, and then go to downgit and click on download. Once you download this folder here, go into that folder, open it, and run npm install, and then you're good to go. Of course, if you already have the files, go and open your text editor, and then go to the components and create a new component called project_form.js. Then inside of it, I'm going to import React from React. Then I'm going to create my function project form, and this just going to return an HTML form. So my form here needs an onSubmit event, and it's going to run a handle submit function. So I'm going to receive that as props, using props. Then I'm going to need a heading, an h3, and it's going to be hidden. I need to receive that using props too, because it's going to be changed between the add new project and rename project. Then an input here, a controlled component. So we need a value set to value, and on change I need to set the value to e.target.value. So I'm gonna go and get those using props. So value and set value, and then here I'm gonna use a type text, then a placeholder that says project name, and then an autofocus. Then I need a button to cancel or to close the modal, so it's gonna have a class name cancel, and then a row of button, so to stop this from submitting, and then an unclick event. So when I click on this, I'm gonna set show modal to false to close the modal. So I need to receive the show modal function as well using props. Then another button to confirm. So this text may change, so this gonna be confirm button text. I'm gonna receive this using props too, and the button here has a class name called confirm. That's it. So I need to export default the project form component now, so I can use it in my two components. So the first one is going to be add new project. We have already created the plus icon or the plus button. I need to import the model first, and then I need here two props, show model and set show model. So I need to create some state here. So I'm gonna go and create show model and set show model to change its value from false to true. So this will be initialized with false. I need to bring in use state first. Now I will go inside of here and render my project form. I need some props there, but first I will go and import project form. Now the props are going to be the handle submit function. So I need to go now and create that function, handle submit. It's going to take in the E or the event, the submit event, then a hidden, it's going to say new project, and then a value, it's going to be the project name, and set value is going to be set project name. So I need a state. So let's create them. Project name and set project name equals use state, and it's going to be initialized with an empty string. So project name, set project name, and then set show model to close the model using the cancel button, and then the confirm button text is going to say plus add project. Now I need an unclick event here to my plus icon to open the model. So we're gonna set show model to true. So that's it. Let's try that. Now you can see that it opens. It's ugly now. We're gonna fix that using CSS. Now let's go to our project. I'm gonna copy this for now. I'm gonna go to rename project. So here I'm gonna render the form. So for the project name is gonna be new project name, set new project name, and let's go and create those. So new project name. So I'm using new here. You can use any name just for some clarity. So that new project name is gonna be initialized with the project name you clicked on or you want to edit. So then I will go to my project here. So from project, I'm gonna need a model here. So I'm gonna go and import that. Import model from model. And then here it's gonna be rename project. It's gonna need the project because we need the name of the project to edit. And then set show model to close the model from our rename project component. So we need first to create some state for our model, show model and set show model, and it's gonna be of course initialized with false, so it's closed by default. Now let's go and bring in use state. Now I'm gonna go here and pass those as props to the model. And now I'm gonna go and add an unclick event to my edit button. So when I click on the edit button, I need to open the form to edit the name of the project. Now let's go to our rename project. So let's go and create handle submit function. So it's gonna take in an event, but it's gonna be empty for now. Now I also need this to be edit project name. The value is there, set value, show model. Now for the button is gonna say confirm. And that's it. I have some errors here. Okay, I had a typo there, so it's slash there. If I save your state is undefined in rename project. Okay, so inside my rename project I need to bring in the use state hook, and then I need to import the project form as well. Let's save, refresh. If I click on this, I open the new project to add a new project. If I click on this, you can see that it says personal here. It says work and it says other. So everything is working. Now let's go and style our rename project and add new project components. So for the plus icon there, I need some margin. So to the right, add some margin to the right. So it's gonna be add button, class name, and then the span tag. So the margin right is gonna be set to 5 pixels. So I just need some space there. Now let's go and style the project form. So I need to add a class name here for my form. It's gonna be class name project form. Now I can style my form. So I'm gonna go and set the background color to white. Let's go and open the form first to see the changes. So if I click on this, now you can see the background there is white. Now let's get rid of those numbers. So I need to change the Z index of the model. So I'm gonna set that to 99 and that fixes the issue. Now I'm gonna go and set the padding to 1 rem and then the border radius to 4 pixels, the position to relative, and then some padding bottom 40 pixels. You're gonna know why in a minute. So the project form input, the width is gonna be 100% of the parent, then a height of 40 pixels, and then I'm gonna set the margin to 5 to 15 pixels for top and bottom and 0 for right and left, then the border to none, and then the font size is gonna be 1.2 rems. And now I will go on focus. So I need no outlines, so I'm gonna set outline to none. and a border bottom. So when it's focused, I'm gonna add a border bottom with a color of blue. Now you can see that both of them now have the same stars because it's the same form. Now for our buttons, I'm gonna set the position to absolute. That's why we used position relative on the parent. Now the bottom is gonna be 0 for both the buttons, confirm and cancel. Then the height of the buttons as it's gonna be 40 pixels. That's why we added some bottom padding 40 pixels to the project form. Now the width of them is gonna be 50% of the parent. The cancel button is gonna be set to the left, and the confirm is gonna be to the right. So they both have a background color. This one has this color, and our confirm is gonna be a blue color. Then on hover, I'm gonna use filter and add some brightness, so you can see that brightness there. Now I'm gonna set the border to none for both of them. Then the color of text of the button is gonna be white. The font size is gonna be 1 rem, and font weight is gonna be bold. And then the cursor is gonna be a pointer. Now you can see that it's working for both forms. Now I'm gonna go and add some transition for filter. 300 milliseconds easing out. So that's it for this part. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, do whatever you can to support me. Take care. See you in the next part.